Hey guys, welcome to Flat Top King. Hey, today is all about a blackened catfish with like a Cajun sausage mix-up, and we did a cheesy grit to go on the bottom. If you guys want to see how we make this, here we go. Alrighty, to get started, you guys said, why don't you cook stuff that you actually eat all the time? So this is something we don't necessarily do all the time, but if I was cooking for us on a cold day that is 26 degrees outside, then this is what I would make. Comforting, Southern, Cajun inspired. Doesn't mean that all the ingredients right or wrong go on it, but this is what we're going to use. We're going to make some cheese grits. I've made grits several times in the past, both soft and leftover hard, and then we've cut them out and then we've redone them on the griddle where they're like grit cakes. We've also done several types of fishes. We've done salmon. We've done both blackened salmon and griddled salmon. We've done white bass that run through Knoxville very close to this time of year, so we might be catching them again. One of those, we've done fish from Alaska, halibut. So today is catfish. I don't think we've done catfish, but today we're gonna be blackening catfish. One of my favorites. Really quick on the grits. Instead of doing the roasted garlic, because we're not gonna redo them, we're gonna keep them smooth. We're just going to basically go by package instructions with my twist. So, whatever your package instructions say, I would highly encourage you to do that and play around with it. It says 3 cups of liquid, so I'm gonna do 2 cups of water. To that, I'm gonna add a little chicken bouillon, about enough for the 2 cups. So basically all we're doing is trying to incorporate as much flavor to the grits as possible. To that, we're gonna add, I actually emptied out 2 containers, which is a win for me because refrigerator space is extremely difficult right now. I was lucky, it came out very close. This is 1 cup of cream. So it's actually a half a cup of cream and a half a cup and half and half. Do whatever you want to do. You can add milk. You can add all water if you wanted to. I just emptied out 2 containers, so that's a win. We're just going to bring this up to a boil before we throw our grits in. We have our Blackstone heating up. It's probably a little bit too hot. I'm going to turn this down to low. This one down to low because we're going to need that to be ripping hot later. Not right now, but later. What we need to do now is grate some cheese. I'm going to look at probably about a cup of cheese. So these are our cheese choices today. I'm just emptying out the refrigerator. I have some smoked Gouda, which we're using a previous recipe, and I have some sharp cheddar. So I'm just going to grate this up, however much that makes, it makes, and then I'm going to offset the rest of the cup worth of cheese with the sharp cheddar. I'm going to guess that's about a half of a cup. All right, our mix is up to temp. I'm gonna add some nice pinch of salt. I'm gonna add some pepper. Looking for about a cup. And that goes.
Show us what kind we're using.
And we're gonna cook this down. I'm not gonna add the cheese. The cheese is gonna be the very, very, very last thing. That and butter at the very last. All right, when we talk about cooking and going off the rails, this is what we're doing. I have some leftover onions and bell peppers that are just cut up already. Not a big deal. I have some jalapenos. My dad came over the other day and we made Dove jalapeno poppers. They were fantastic. I barbecued them with my Q that seasoning and then glazed them with Mike's hot honey. Oh geez, they were good. All right, small dice on these as well. Completely unorthodox probably, I'm sure, but I just think that the tomato acidity is going to help with the creaminess of the grits, the fat content, and the spiciness with the catfish. So this is my thinking. I'm gonna make basically like a sauteed relish. Okay, so I'm looking about a half a tomato. I'm just brainstorming, eyeballing, and just cooking what's in the refrigerator. And there's a sausage of choice. There are plenty of other options out there. We've even shown some on the TV. The one thing that I want to try, which I haven't had yet around here, I might have to order it nationally through somehow, is tasso. I really want to try some tasso. Andouille would have been a good option as well, but this is just what we went with. Not a big deal. I wouldn't worry about my selection that much. I'm going to dice it up. Obviously use the sausage that you like. If you're from the Louisiana area or the Bayou area, anywhere like that, I'm sure you got your favorite. Alrighty, the grits have come together nicely. So now we're just gonna add that cheese. And we'll add about probably 2 tablespoons of butter. Butter's frozen. Whew. Incorporate that, let that all come together, and you should be good to go on that. Okay, moving on. Our vegetables and our sausage. I want the sausage. This griddle right now is set on like a medium high, and this is on low. Remember, my temperatures are different than your temperatures. We can get to that later. But I do want some nice color on my sausage. Over here with the vegetables, right on the griddle. Probably need to add just a touch of oil. The vegetables probably need a little seasoning. Just hit that little salt and pepper, butter and garlic. Right in the middle, I'm gonna add the skillet. To the skillet, I'm gonna add about, let's see, about 2 fillets, maybe just about 2 tablespoons of butter. I might need a hair more, we'll see. Start melting that down. This is gonna be our base for our fish, for a blackening process. But we need to get it melted. I'm gonna add more butter. Just 1 more tablespoon, so that's 3 tablespoons right there.
We get to try the grits.
Patience, dear one, patience. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Yep. That's the color I'm looking for. Now you need to do this. Listen, I always try to teach you. Let me show you something. You need to do these separate if you want color. If you add your vegetables with all the moisture into your sausage, you're just gonna steam the sausage. I want the color of the sausage, and then we combine them together. So just remember that. I mentioned that a lot during cooking. Everything's working nicely. I got some nice catfish fillets. And from here, it's just extremely easy. We're just gonna season it with your favorite blackened seasoning. We've tried a lot. It's a personal preference. I think some are too salty, some are too spicy, some just don't have the right balance. We bought this today just to try it out, and we actually like it. So use your favorite one. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, presentation side last. Actually, I'll move this over. Since this is the cooler side of the griddle, we're allowing that butter to melt. Still allowing all this stuff to come together. So my idea was to create a topping for the fish. And this is what I'm trying to make. So I'm just gonna let this stew together right here. Crank this up to high because we're gonna need that high heat. I'm telling you now, I might use high. But if you got a different type of griddle, a 3-burner or 4-burner, your heat's gonna be completely different than mine. Just because you see people or hear people say to cook on high, there's so many variations, it's not even funny. It's 27 degrees outside, we're adding cold vegetables to a very small griddle. Warping could happen, it's a part of it. So I'm just telling you, just gotta be careful what you're doing. The halos are extremely efficient. You know, if you got a big burner, like a 4-burner, you could probably still get away with just using 2 burners. The Traegers can keep up. The Weber is not as great on high as it is low, so you might have to crank your dial up a little bit more. Anything above like 450 to 525, right? That's a high. So you got to be careful what you're doing. Okay, that butter's melted nicely. Just gonna allow that to keep cooking together.
So you just did that to take advantage of the hotter temperature over here.
Yep. So now I'm gonna work in my zones. A lot of people love working with zones. I think to me, I struggle because I would rather control the zones myself, but I understand the concept. And this is what we're doing. We're basically using the bottom part of the griddle now to keep our food warm. This is not a great area to cook on, so I'm gonna be able to turn this side of the griddle up hotter now and just keep all that cooking. Now it's gonna keep cooking, but it ain't gonna be 500-degree cooking. You got me? All right, we're ready. I'm gonna just let this griddle come up to a smoke point. See how we're smoking right there? All right, right now our griddle's smoking. It's up to temp, so I'm gonna use advantage. The burners run this way, so I'm gonna put them right on top of the burners each. We got our melted butter. Basically, we're just gonna pour that butter right on top. Sometimes people dip the fish. It's so cold outside.
Oh, your butter already.
It's so cold outside that it just took my...
Solidified your melted butter?
Yes. This application will go great with chicken as well. I know a lot of people have been asking about blackened chicken. I'll just be cautious that you want to make sure that you take your chicken breast. If this is a chicken breast, you want to cut it in half because it takes so long to cook. If you got this high temp, then you end up burning the outside before the inside gets done, especially on a blacking technique. So you just got to be careful about that. No, I think we can go a little bit longer. One thing about fish, you can flip it more often. I would encourage you to stay like on not a 50-50 schedule. You want that first side, which is why we call it the presentation side, to really, really pop. You want to have that crispness, that char, that bark, that everything that you want like in a good bite. That first side needs it because fish cook so fast that if you don't get it on your first side, by the time you flip it, your griddle's going to be cooled down and you're not going to be able to get the same effect on the other side, okay? So really aim for that first side. I'm not an expert. Maybe 70-30, hell, maybe even like 80-20, okay? You really want to solidify and get that, I got a dang hair from you, on the first side.
So 80% of the cook time on the first side.
Or 70-30, like I said, I'm not perfect at it. I'm sure each fish is different, but I know you don't want thick fish. All right, ready to flip? Mm-hmm. Now, if you notice, it's hard to teach because it happens so quick. Notice how I spread the fish out? 2 reasons. You spread it out to allow the middle of the griddle to heat back up. And when you move it over, what are you getting? Can you answer? If I move the fish over to a different spot, you're getting a hotter area, right? Yeah. Because the fish would absorb the heat from that one area. So it helps you. But when you do that, now all of a sudden it gives you a place to flip again with a hotter area. Golly.
This is what I've been waiting for. Let's try.
The cheese grits.
Yeah, let's try those.
So here's some celery. You can use green onion, but I thought I'd bring just a little bit of celery leaves to the mix since it's the Holy Trinity. Grits looking great. Fantastic. All right, let's portion it out. You can really see how 1 cup of grits can really expand and feed a crowd. Maybe one more.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what we like to do is refrigerate these overnight.
In like a 8x8 Pyrex.
Yep, and then you just cut them out like you would like a biscuit cutter, like a triangle or a square or whatever, and then you dredge them the next day. I actually like to use cornmeal, flour, egg, whatever, and then you can refry them, and they are fantastic. Grit cakes, one of my favorites. If you had a fresh squeeze of lemon, I would highly suggest it because of acidity. And other than that, that's it. Now there is a full dinner at its finest. I am super excited. I know it's going to be fantastic. I know you guys asked, like, when I reached out and said, what would you guys make? I'm having trouble and da-da-da. And they're like, well, why don't you just make what you normally eat? Well, this is something that I would cook indoors, and I've done it before. So we just thought we'd make a video on it. Got a little Texas Pete out, because I can't have it without it. Your favorite hot sauce? Those crispy edges on that fish. Still moist on the inside. Oh yeah. That's perfect. That is absolutely perfect. Back end heat. Get those cheese grits. Those grits are on point.
Let me try the grits.
Those might be the best grits I've made. Damn, sausage is good too. So that's all three. Now let's try them together. I love it. It's everything I would want.
This is your kind of food.
This is comfort. The sausage on point. The textural difference, right? Once you get through that breakthrough, that very small crust on the catfish, if you add the polenta and the actual catfish itself, everything is soft. Then all of a sudden you add that component of the sausage where it's got that char that we try to get. You get the acid from the tomatoes, and you got like that burnt pieces from the sausage, you know, like the chew. I think it just complements it perfectly. There you go. That's what we make. You guys wanted it, and there you go. If you guys are interested, we have a join button down below. It's a membership program. We thank each and every one of you for taking time for doing so. Check us out on the Griddle Group on Facebook. We talk about griddles, where I reach out for inspiration from you guys, and no doubt you guys showed out and showed up, and this is what we did developed. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to press that subscribe button, pound the notification button, share with your friends. Peace.
Let's go in. It's going to freeze on us.
Don't worry about it, kid. I got lunch today.
Yep.